Hi, I just got back from Home Depot and I picked up some really nice, cheap vertical grain wood. Hopefully you can see the quality of this. It's a fairly tight grain. It's all vertical grain. Whenever I go to Home Depot or Lowe's, I always just wander down the lumber aisle, take a look at what's there, and every once in a while there'll be a few pieces like this with barely any knots, and I like the vertical grain stuff, and it comes out to about $1.50 a board foot. And try and go to your lumber yard and try and buy vertical grain lumber, and it'll be pretty pricey. Also, when I was there, I picked up this bag of clamps, 22 spring clamps. Let me show you what I'm going to do with these. Here's what's in the bag. You get 4 6-inch clamps, 6 4-inch clamps, 8 3-inch, and 4 2-inch. And what I'm really interested in are the 4-inch and 3-inch clamps. And I'm going to be using these for gluing my hardwood edging on sheet goods. And I'm going to show you that process now. Last week I bought these 2 clamps at Harbor Freight for $1 each. I wanted to use these as a test for something I was going to try, and they worked great, so I was going to buy more. But then I was at Home Depot and I saw that bag of 22 for $9. And they're not identical, but I think you would agree that these were made in the same factory. I mean, they're very close. So surprisingly, Home Depot actually is priced better than Harbor Freight. That's a first for me. So what's this experiment that I wanted to do with these clamps? I'm sure you've seen the clamp that Rockler came out with sometime, I think in the last year or so. They call it the Bandy clamp. It has a rubber band in this area, and it's for attaching edging, among other things. And it's a really nice clamp. I've seen one in person, though I haven't used it. High quality, but it's $12 per clamp. And if you're going to do edging, and sometimes I do edging that's 2 to 3 feet long, you're going to need one of these clamps every 1.5 inches, 2 inches, and that adds up cost-wise. So I thought I'd see how well a homemade version of that would work. I'm going to use these 3-inch rubber bands. In this case, bag I bought it at Staples for a few bucks. And of course, one of these 4-inch clamps. Construction is very simple. Just wrap the rubber band like so. And it's done. Okay, let's see how well this is going to work. As you can see, I have no problem using Rockler supplies. And let that dry for about half an hour, and we'll clean it up, see how well it looks. Before I take this clamp off, just wanted to show you the kind of clearance you have with these clamps. So there's plenty of clearance for the edge banding, which is of course wider than this MDF. This is 1/2 inch. And also you can see that this is a worst case scenario where I'm clamping onto melamine, which is pretty slippery stuff. If this were regular plywood, this would even grip better. And that's it. And looks pretty good so far. Scraping off some of the excess glue. These little 6-inch rulers, I use these as scrapers quite a lot for cleaning up glue. I use hand planes now for trimming all my edging. I used to use a router, but I get better results with a hand plane. No dust and no noise, and it's less risky, I think. I usually use this 5 1/4 Stanley. No particular reason, but that I just started grabbing it when I did this work, and now it's my go-to plane. But in the spirit of economy, I'm going to do all this work with my Harbor Freight number 33 plane for 10 bucks. And some of you might recall seeing an earlier video I did on this. So I'm going to start with this set a little bit on the heavy side. I'm just going to get it very close, paper thickness away from the surface. Back this up to get a thinner shaving. I'm keeping the back of my plane on the wood, and that way this will be kept at a perfect 90 degrees. And it's very easy to work up to the surface of the melamine, and I will not dig into the melamine. This, by the way, is another example of how to use the bench bowl. Hopefully you can see the quality of that joint. I'm pretty happy with it. And perfectly flush with that cheap plane, though highly tuned. No scratches. And that's how I do all my edge banding now. No routers for me. It's much more controlled this way. And before I go, just a little close-up of the end too. We can see, hopefully you can see that these edges are nice and even with the surface. I hope you were able to pick up a tip or two from this video. Thanks for stopping by.